Welcome. As you're coming in, we are currently streaming live in the Streamline Business Strategies Facebook group. Yes, hello. If you are watching in the group, come on in, say hi. Give us a happy Tuesday or maybe an emoji that shares how you're feeling today on this lovely afternoon, at least on the East Coast and Central Time. If you're watching the replay, let us know if you're on the replay. If you are watching on YouTube or listening on the Small Biz 101 podcast, please also thank you so much for being here. And if you like what you hear, please hit the subscribe button. So I do these interviews. It's been a couple of times a month to support small business owners by providing guest experts in areas needed by those business owners, right? So we've done legal issues related to small businesses, mindset support. And today we are going to be talking about the importance of utilizing an online business manager. So I am so thrilled to have Tiffany Pavelka with us today, because I would not be able to do any of these interviews or even have this group if it was not for Tiffany and her team. Tiffany, welcome.
Thank you. It's our pleasure. Thanks for having me. It's been so fun to watch the group start to where it's at today, and just all the things that you're doing and how you're helping other solopreneurs out there. It's really, really great.
Thank you. And I'm sure we'll be getting into that more, because we actually started working together, I think, with that Facebook group.
We did.
Right?
Yes.
I think that was the first project. So we'll get into that more. I want to share a bit more about Tiffany before we get into the discussion itself. So Tiffany is the CEO and founder of Red Cape Consulting. What a perfect name for her firm. They truly do come in like a superhero and help. And Red Cape Consulting is a relationship-based marketing and business management company that partners with thought leaders worldwide to deliver life-changing business results. Tiffany strongly believes in the power of authentic connections, both in business and life, empowering her clients to achieve her business goals while fostering lifelong relationships. And I'll just share a few more words that Tiffany and her team have been handling much, if all really, of my online business management for now the past, I think it's been about 3 years.
Yeah.
And I know my business would not be where it is now without the help of Tiffany and her team, without Red Cape. So I know her work is truly an investment, not an expense. So Tiffany, again, I'm just so glad to have you here. Yeah, so would you share a little bit more about the work that you do for your clients? Yeah. Online business management sounds so huge, and I know you do so much, but in your words, tell me about it.
Yeah, no, that's a really good question. Online business management can mean a lot of things. It's really dependent on each client and what their needs are. Ultimately, it's taking care of all the details, taking all those really great big ideas and breaking them down, and then integrating a plan to execute on all the work that really is going to help our clients shine online, is really like how I like to say it. So like our favorite thing to do is to take our visionary leaders, our thought leaders, and just really highlight them and shine them online through creating content, consistency with social media marketing, updating websites, streamlining the behind the scenes processes, and help, just it can be from administrative, like I need this document created, to I need you to think big strategy, and then tactical, and then, have your team take care of that, but just having that person, that right hand to really rely on and to really, depend on, to know that, they're going to be able to take what you need done and get it done, and that you're happy with the work that's done.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it can kind of be, it's just, so it sounds like a lot. It's like, okay, well, what does that mean? Like, what can you do? Well, what do you need done? Right? Like, what would make your life better and easier at work?
Exactly. And just to share a couple of other examples and go into a little more detail on some of those things. So you and I started out because I wanted to do a Facebook group and felt like I had no time and I really didn't know what I was doing. So you guys came in, you set everything up beautifully for me. So all I had to do was go in there and be present and get the activity going.
Mhm.
And then we went to like my groups, my quarterly half day groups that I
Mhm.
was running. It did all the back end on that, all of the emails, setting up the documents behind the scenes, the creating the digital workbook that goes with it. And then it went to my bigger program, the 12-week program, where you guys, I would be lost if I didn't have you doing the emails, the Facebook groups, the Facebook posts.
Mhm.
Uh, I mean, there's just so much behind the creating the tracker, helping me with managing the group. And now you're working on my website, right? It's just like Tiffany said, as things come up and I'll contact, gosh, I contacted Kevin the other day. You guys didn't even create my first website. I'm like, I can't put a picture up there. And he tried to help me. And then he just put the picture up himself. It's like just having somebody like that to take care of all the digital work in the background, whether it's big work or small things, it's such a relief to have. And I just really encourage people who are watching, um, just to think about that in your work. Think about the things that are taking place digitally. It doesn't have to start big. It can start small, like I did with a Facebook group, and then gradually add on, particularly as your business grows, because then you have more time to focus on the business rather than on the details of things.
Mhm.
So I feel it's just so remarkable, and I think such a gift to people. But another question I have for you related to something you said is you help your clients with strategy, right? So, and I've experienced that. Could you share a little bit more about how you work with them to develop a customized strategy that really meets their own specific needs?
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So part of one other little tiny thing about thinking about like bringing somebody on and like how you can figure out what to give away or how to those first things is I always say to write a list. Like everything that you're doing all day long, if there's something that somebody else can do for you, write it on a piece of paper or a Google Doc or whatever it is, but just start making a list of everything that you do that somebody else could do. And then you can really prioritize, like, what am I willing to give away? What am I willing to let somebody help me with? And then you have a starting place for like almost a job description too, because here's the things that I'm going to need. And I'm willing to allow someone to help me with this. And so that's just a nice tool, strategy to try to figure out like, well, what can I give away? Because it can become really overwhelming to think of all the things. And so I just say, take a couple of days and just start writing some stuff down. So, so one of my favorite little tricks.
Yeah.
So, for a customized strategy, I would say, what I like to do is I like to do a deep dive with our clients. So ultimately, we have a lot of experience in a lot of different places, and we have experts on the team at Red Cape that can handle different areas. And then together as a team, we collaborate. So we just really bring the best ideas forward. Yet we are not, I mean, we can function here over on our own, of course, but really we need you as the client to share with us what's going on, where you see yourself. So we like to really look at the vision, mission, and values of an organization or a company, because we want to hear from them. Where do they want to go? And then how, because ultimately it's our roadmap to knowing where we're going, why we're going there, and how we're going to behave in going there. And so, and then with that simple roadmap, we can really discuss like, what are your goals and dreams? And we start to uncover and discover like what's the long-term vision of the organization or the company. And then we start to map out a strategy from that. So what's the next thing that we need to do? So it's going big picture, but then tactically coming in and going mapping out like the next steps to actually move toward the vision. So finding the results, moving the needle. And it's customized to every client, because every client has different goals and it has a different vision. And it's not always monetary. Obviously, we're all in business to make a living, but the clients that we work with are very heart-centered and they want to help. They truly want to help people. And so ultimately it's bringing in the servant leadership, and that we're here to really serve and help others. And we're also, this is our living. So we're going to, need to charge for that. Right, kind of thing. But then the service and the quality and what is given is just really it's really good, because it's not just it's not a cookie cutter, like, here's how we're going to handle this for you. And it's what we do for every single client. It really needs to be unique, and because every client is unique.
So
So
true.
mhm.
Thank you for sharing that. And actually, Jennifer Culver, Jennifer,
Yes,
yes, she just posted a question that I think is so
Jennifer.
important. Yes, hello, Jennifer, and anyone
Kathy is
else who
there
is
too.
on here.
Kathy saying hi. Hi, Kathy.
Kathy, yes, good to have you here. Anyone who's here live, please do pop in, say hello. Let us know you're here. If you're watching the replay, please share that you're here on the replay. But related to Jennifer's question, which I just think is so important,
Mhm.
her question, how do you keep your authenticity when having somebody else doing a lot of the back end work? And that's a
Mhm.
really great question. And I think, like, you guys do my social media content, you help with the blog, the newsletter, all of that. And that part is so important, that you capture the client's voice. So how do you maintain that authenticity?
Mhm. Yeah, that is a really great question. Um, so ultimately, on my team, and I guess when you're looking for a team to support you in this venture of having that support in the background, because essentially we all have different gifts, and pairing those gifts are really important, and spending that time identifying what is it that you need, and then finding a team that can support you in that. For us, for Red Cape, we are a heart-centered, achieving group. And so I don't know if anyone's familiar with the Enneagram, but our team is very much either a 3-2 or a 2-3. And so we're leading with our heart, and we're achieving great things, or we're achieving and then bringing our heart with it. So we care deeply. So we all really care about doing a good job. And we can all get into the voices of our clients. That's part of our gift, actually, is that we're able to put ourselves in our client's shoes, and we're able to put ourselves in their voice. And the other part of that is, and that's really important to us, because otherwise we aren't authentically serving a purpose here. And so part of that too is that we spend time with our clients. We watch their videos, we go to their things, we read their stuff, and we work with our clients to go back and forth. And when we're getting started, it takes a minute, because we're getting to know each other. We're building a relationship. And so in that process, we're getting to know the voice, and then we're writing, and we're going back and forth with editing, and we're creating something together. And then ultimately, over time, what happens is we've built this relationship, we've created this messaging that is authentic to our client, and then it takes less time, because we're all on the same page and we're together. And I feel like that's, like, for Red Cape, like, if I were to say, like, I feel like that's one of our things, is like, we are organic marketing and operations company, and we really care about our clients. And clients say that, like, they feel cared for. They're not a number. And so when you're looking for a partner, it's, it might get a little emotional, because you're going to actually build a relationship with each other. And you want to have the open and honest conversation, so that the relationship can grow. And then ultimately, that's just builds on that authenticity and that vulnerability. And we're able to do a better job when that happens.
And
Yeah.
I so appreciate you mentioned you working together, right?
Mhm.
Particularly at the beginning of stages, right? You're like, when we were working together, you were learning about me, I was learning about you.
Mhm.
Both of us were open to each other's suggestions and ideas. And now, after working together, and it didn't take this long, but after working together for some time, you send me the information for the upcoming month, and it is in my voice, and often it's much better than my voice. So I'm thrilled, right?
Yeah.
So it really does, that collaboration and that time and that extra work that you do really makes a huge difference. And like
Mhm.
Kathy said, yes, super, it's so important to have that rapport with clients.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank
Yeah.
you for sharing that, Tiffany. And Jennifer, thanks so much for asking the question. It's a great question.
Yes. Thank you.
All right. So Tiffany, another question for you. Congratulations. You just celebrated your 5-year anniversary.
Yeah. Yes, we did.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yay.
What a journey, right?
Yes, it really
Um,
has been.
yeah. So what kind of advice would you give yourself going back? Like if you were in your first year in business, and I'm sharing this both to hear about your journey within your business, but also for the other small business owners who are here. Everybody loves to gather advice so they can streamline things and move forward a little more efficiently. So I'm just curious, what advice would you give yourself or others when you're first starting out?
Yeah, thank you. The biggest piece of advice I would give to anyone starting their own business and uh, you know, moving forward with the idea and the plan is what happened to me, what I'm really trying to say is what happened to me is I started my business because I'm like, oh, I'm going to just go do what I do, like that I've always done for businesses. I go in, I streamline them, I organize them, I help them make money, and I hire a team for them. And then after that's done, I'm like, okay, see you later. And then I go on to the next company. Like, it's just something I get super excited about. And so in all my jobs, it was like, the longest job I ever had was 5 years. Otherwise it was 2 to 3 years. And I was moving because I really find a lot of satisfaction in coming in and streamlining, finding the right people to keep the ship moving, maintaining it. And so as an entrepreneur, I get to do that all the time. And so that's been really amazing. And then I've got to build a team. But when I first started, I just thought I would take my skill set, help small businesses, and it would just happen. I just thought, I know, like, you don't have to pay as much for me because I'm not there full time, and you don't need a full-time person. You just need someone to come in and do some of these things. And then the first 2 years were a little bit of crickets. And I made some money, and I figured some things out. But in that first year, I was going back and forth. And this is my biggest piece of advice. I was going back and forth. Maybe I should just go get a job. Maybe I'm not cut out for this. This is really hard. Nobody wants to buy my services. Like I just had a lot of self-doubt. And then on another day, I'd be like, oh, this is great. I made it, I got a new client. And it was just up and down and really just emotional for me. And one day, I don't remember who it was, but they said, why don't you put it on the calendar that you're not going to entertain the idea of getting another job until December 12th, 2020 or 2019, I think it was, because I started in 2018. And so I did that. And then I stopped going back and forth and up and down and figuring out, am I going to do this? Am I not going to do this? Because that's the biggest thing. Like, as we've heard in our circles, and Connie, you've probably said this too, but it's whatever we put our energy into expands. And when I kept putting my energy into, I wonder if I should get another job, I don't know if this is going to work, and I just go back and forth all the time, that really stopped the flow for me to grow and expand. And so once I set it on the shelf, I left it there. And then I had like 3 people who, if I started to talk that way, they'd say, hey, you put that on the shelf. And so then I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. Thanks. So that was my first year.
That is fantastic advice. I love that.
Yes, thank you.
Well,
it was so helpful, because otherwise I was just mind screwing with it all the time.
yeah. And you're giving yourself permission. You're like, okay, I may still consider this, but not now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give myself the time to really make this happen. And now here you are, you're celebrating your 5-year anniversary, and you have a team. Would you share about the team, what they do? I know you have different roles for different people, and what you see now for the future of Red Cape.
Yeah, thank you. I love my team. Like, they are amazing people, first of all and foremost, awesome human beings. And we have a team. It used to be just me, and then my first contractor was Sarah, and Sarah and I have been friends for a long time. And then she worked with me for 2 years, and then had her bakery business, and then has returned and joined us again in the beginning of this year. And so And ultimately it's, we have copywriters, we have senior copywriters, we have graphic designers, brand designers. Kevin, who a lot of us know and love, is our, we've now termed him operational handyman. Do
No, he's
everything.
my right-hand man.
I know. I think he's everybody's.
But he makes you feel like he's your own assistant to handle
Yes.
anything online.
Yes,
What a relief.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Everybody needs a Kevin. Okay,
they
sorry.
do. I know everybody needs a Kevin, and we do. We appreciate him. I mean, the whole team does, even our whole team. And that's the thing about our team is we all come with different. So Kevin's really super techie. So like he can figure any technical thing out. He builds websites, designs them. Once, you get all the stuff, he builds it and designs it inside. And like any email stuff, like he's the guy. And then anything you're like, can you please help me with this? He's like, sure, happy to help. And he actually kind of helped us come up with our motto. Like one of our mottos is happy to help, because I was feeling really overwhelmed about something. And he just said, and I asked him if he could help me do something. And he said, yeah, I'm happy to help. And I was like, oh, that was amazing. And so ultimately that's what you have with us at our team, is that we're happy to help. And it's an honor and privilege to work with the people that we do. And we really do sincerely are happy to help. So, so yeah, so he's our customer service, like happy to help example. And then, anyways, and so, and we have client project managers and marketing assistants. So there is about 10 of us, I think, almost. Now there's 10 of us. And so ultimately really trying to serve each client in what they need and how we can help them the best. And so yeah, it's kind of nuts how it's grown.
Yeah. But that's a perfect example for any small business. When you focus your energy in the business and keep developing the plan and working toward it. And look at this. I didn't even realize Kevin was here.
Oh,
Thank you, Kevin. And here's a perfect example. I decided yesterday that I was going to send an email through Aweber to one of my groups. And of course I sent the wrong email. I'm like, if I had just asked Kevin to do it, it wouldn't have been an issue.
yeah.
But all right. So anyway, we're a lot of lessons here.
Yes.
So, all right, here's another question for you. So you do all of this online business management, right? So, but for a company that is early on, who does not have the budget for hiring somebody to do that, what are some best practices that you suggest for managing a small business's online presence? The social media, email marketing, website design, any of that?
Yeah, definitely. Cause I mean, I was there too, right? Like at this point in my career, and with my business, I have the honor to afford, right? Marketing team myself, but I used to do it all by myself. And so it's like, as you grow, you can add more support and help and delegate. And sometimes you invest because it's the right time to invest. But before any of that happened, I got on Canva. I wrote my own content. We have amazing tools right now available to us to help us write content. If you've not heard of ChatGPT, it's a really good program. So there's ways to help kind of become efficient, and I had more time. So I would lay out a social media calendar. It's like, I'm going to do 8 posts and 8 graphics, and I'm going to put that out there. And then I'm going to make connections with people on LinkedIn. And, I built my own website. I did have someone help me write the copy because I wasn't as confident at that time. And it's so hard to talk about ourselves. So that's the other part, is like, sometimes it's nice to have you tell someone all your stuff and then they take it and then put it together. Because I think way too much about whatever I just said or whatever I just wrote. And so it's like, okay, I'm just going to have that kind of help. So you can pick and choose like where you can leverage help that's going to most efficiently help you and give you some relief if possible. So having a social scheduler, which if you're on Facebook and Instagram, you can do it right through Meta Suite, which is a free option. And then there are some schedulers out there that will let you do up to a few platforms. If you're doing like LinkedIn or YouTube or Google My Business, so then you have more options to schedule. So I had a scheduler. I, got an email package through GoDaddy, my email address there, and it's through Office 365. So I kind of set myself up so it's like, here's the absolute tools that I need. And then I had a process. I reached out every day to new people to connect. I would work on content. I would work on proposals. I would work on packages. I'm trying to think. And then so today we have Chat GPT, to help us write. So I guess I'm trying to think what other tools I used. QuickBooks to send my invoices, because I needed QuickBooks for the business anyway.
Yeah.
Am I missing anything?
Well, there's so many out there,
I
things
know.
like project management tools,
Yeah.
Trello. I mean, there's just so much, which is wonderful.
Yeah.
That wasn't there when I first started my first business in, like 25 years ago.
Mhm.
There weren't any of these things,
Yeah.
right? I mean, God, I've so aged myself. Online was even still kind of new.
Mhm.
So it's really amazing the progress that's been made.
Yeah.
And I'm just
Well,
checking in here. Oh, go ahead, please.
No, well, I also, I literally use spreadsheets for a lot of tracking. And I mean, I use the tools that were readily available and didn't buy a project management tool until 2 years ago even. So it's like I ran on what worked for me and created my own little systems. And then as soon as it made sense, made those transitions to other software.
So true. The power of the spreadsheet. And I
Yeah.
have become just such a fan of just simply the Google Work Suite and, the
Mhm.
spreadsheets, the docs, the forms, so much of that is
Yeah.
free or low cost and that can be
Right.
shared so easily, right? There's so
Mhm.
many different options available.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you sharing that because not everybody is in a position to, have someone that's doing everything on the back end, particularly in the first few years of business. You really
Yeah.
do have to, as you're building things up, figure these things out on your own. And that actually makes it so much easier that when you are in a position to hire someone like you have a much more clear idea of what you're looking for and what you don't
Mhm.
like, which I
Yeah.
think is really helpful.
Mhm.
And I just wanted to mention we had Brandon Hills. Come on, Brandon. I'm so glad that you're here. Brandon is such a giver, such a helper. He helps design. He designs amazing websites.
Awesome.
His copywriting skills are amazing. So Brandon, and he's always open to learning and just really, really happy that you're here, Brandon, as well. And Kathy, thank you so much for sharing your comments on this. Yes, calendaring in things. Great team. Yes, you're right. Everyone needs a right-hand man. Yes,
Mhm. You
spreadsheets
can't
are
have
great.
Kevin.
Kevin, you can't ever leave. So this is kind of cool too, right? We're so because it's so online. You're based in Minnesota.
Yep.
Sarah's based in Minnesota.
Mhm.
Kevin's over here in Rochester, New York.
Yeah.
At some point I hope to actually meet him in person.
Yeah.
But
Definitely. That'd be fun.
it's funny how you can become really close with people and never have met them. We haven't met in person
Right.
ever. It's
Right.
just, yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I know. Some
oh,
of my
thank you.
closest friends I've met online, and we have that's our relationship. So it's phone and Zoom. And then every
Yeah.
once in a while, like we get to have a meet and greet if it works out.
Yeah, yeah. Well, particularly over the last few years, I
Yeah.
think now people are all right craving that in person again and meeting
Yeah.
people. But that's why the services that you provide are so important too. It really doesn't matter where people are located.
Hmm. Yeah.
So what's coming up for you? What are you most excited now that you've passed the 5-year anniversary? What are you excited about coming in the future?
Yeah, the most exciting, it's happening right now for us, and we're just really getting really focused on instead of offering a whole bunch of things, it's getting even leaner in terms of like we will offer marketing and operations support and strategy and online business management, and then we're going to have it's a brand. It's called Brand Ignite Suite, and that's a website, a brand alignment, and a logo. So, and it's really become clear like what our audience is really looking for. So, I have really been able to then take that and work with my own business coach to help me with these big pieces and this change and this movement and hiring the team members and adding new people and just really being intentional about moving forward. And that's just such a gift to be in a position to be even able to do this. And so it's been such a journey. And so I'm so excited for where we're going, for the new people that are going to be starting with us over the next month, and just, what results our clients are going to get from some more focused driven results. So that's what's coming up.
Oh, good stuff. I'm looking forward to hearing more.
Yeah.
All right. Is there anything that comes to mind that I should have asked you, you'd like to share that I didn't ask you about, that you would like to share with people either watching or listening to this? No, I'm sorry to put you on the spot there. But...
Yeah. Well, I'm just trying to think, right? Like, I just feel like, I don't think you missed anything. I think the only last parting words would be, to find, just if things are easy, go with that versus trying to figure out and muscle through figuring things out that aren't working for you. It's just like focusing in on what's easy and you have experience with, and learn things as you go. But just because I would get so focused on trying to get everything perfect, but it can't be perfect. And it's just about doing sometimes and moving forward and learning from that. And I think the last thing is really, I'm very type A, and I love process and order, and everything has a place. And what I've learned as an entrepreneur is flexibility. The more that I can just go with the flow, I can still have intentions and be strategic and have all of those things, but I have to go with the flow, or I just run into myself and I'm frustrated. And so that's like one of the biggest things is once I'm able to just relax into that flexibility and ease of just going with the flow, I just have better days.
Yeah, perfect sense. And it really does make sense. Focus on your strengths, right? For anyone there,
Yes.
really focus on that. And where you can, get help with the areas of weakness or challenge, like an online business manager, like someone like Tiffany and her team. Wonderful. Well, I will share your contact information in the notes of the live and in the show notes for the podcast and that. But I would like to ask, like, if there's one primary way to see about what you do, what's the best way, or to contact you? What would you say is the best way?
Either looking at the best way would probably come in through the website. I mean, everything is there. We have case studies, services. You'll get to know about us and our team. It really is a good spot to really get to know us. And of course, we have social profiles everywhere, so you can reach out on Messenger or LinkedIn messaging. And yeah.
And the site is redcapeconsulting.com.
Oh yeah. So it's actually www.redcaperesults.com.
Oh, sorry about that.
Yeah,
I'll get
no,
that right in the...
That's totally fine. Redcaperesults.com.
Love it. Focusing on the results.
Yes.
Well, thank you, Tiffany. Thank you so much for being here and sharing your wisdom and sharing about your business as well. And I'd like to thank you to the people who are here live, people watching the replay. If you're on YouTube or the podcast, really appreciate you being here. And hopefully you took away some good nuggets of gold for your own business. Take care, everybody.
Bye.